This is BBC One.
Hello.
Hi.
Don't tell everybody about the ship now.
Ship?
Yes, ship. This doesn't roll along on wheels, you know.
You mean it moves?
The TARDIS can go anywhere.
TARDIS? I don't understand you, Susan.
Well, I made up the name TARDIS from the initials, time and relative dimension in space. I thought you'd both understand when you saw the different dimensions inside from those outside.
Let me get this straight. A thing that looks like a police box standing in a junkyard, it can move anywhere in time and space?
Yes.
Quite so.
But that's ridiculous.
I'd rather eat the TARDIS than you.
Get back to the ship, time! Yes, that's the immediate view outside the ship.
The ship, you mean? The inside of the ship?
We must be quite near the ship. We've got to get back to the ship. If there were only two of us, you could find your own way back to the ship.
We're going back to the ship. You're not going to take him back to the ship.
We should get back to the ship.
Well, I was going to get him to draw our way back to the TARDIS.
The TARDIS! There's the TARDIS!
Well, we could at least stay near the ship.
The ship's no good without him.
Don't you have anything in the ship? Oh, no. We're going back to the ship.
We'll discuss it when we get back to the ship. You're the only one who can operate the ship.
You pushed your way into the ship, young man. I didn't invite you to the ship. You take these into the ship, please.
Yes. The TARDIS will have to take it to another time and place where we can be cured.
We can't move the ship until we find the mercury for the fluid link.
Father, do you mean to say that you risk leaving the ship just to see this place?
TARDIS.
You can't get into the ship.
And then we must go back to the ship. Well, let's get back to the ship.
You go back to the ship. You go back to the ship with Barbara and your grandfather.
I have a ship capable of crossing the barriers of space and time.
The ship? The TARDIS?
Inside the ship.
No, the ship must have stopped and put us down somewhere.
Do you think something could have got into the ship?
Don't tell her about something being in the ship.
Have they found out what's wrong with the ship? There's something here in the ship. So silent in the ship.
I mean, how would anything get into the ship anyway?
Outside the ship.
I must find out what's outside the ship, Susan. That can't be what's outside the ship.
That's where we nearly lost the TARDIS 4 or 5 journeys back.
Did I ever tell you that the ship has a memory bank? You sabotaged my ship. This is a plot between the two of you to get control of my ship. They must be put off the ship. My ship is very valuable, remember? You're getting off the ship. What they have done to my ship, what is happening to my ship. There's a strong force at work somewhere which is threatening my ship. And I don't believe there's an evil intelligence in the ship. My machine can't think.
And the ship refused to destroy itself.
Yes!
The defense mechanism stopped the ship, and it's been trying to tell us so ever since.
I said it would take the force of the total solar system to attract the power away from my ship. Yes, when I made a threat to put you off the ship, it must have affected you very deeply. All the lights in the ship have gone out. Susan, go into the ship and fetch me the 2LO, will you?
I better take you back to the ship.
He's going to bring the TARDIS down here.
Including the TARDIS. No one will enter the TARDIS.
They've set the TARDIS up in the courtyard.
Well, I really don't see what this has to do with my repairing the TARDIS.
We'll get the TARDIS back, Susan. Look, TARDIS is the only home we have at the moment.
The Doctor and Susan are still in the TARDIS.
I should be able to sneak into the TARDIS, no worry at all.
Just as I was about to enter the TARDIS. And you will destroy the ship. The ship's waiting outside with the circuit finished and installed.
Use you as a hostage until we were safely at the TARDIS. Marco, I wish I could explain to you how important the TARDIS is to us.
And the keys to the TARDIS? My ship. And the TARDIS? The TARDIS. You said the TARDIS was to be placed in the courtyard.
The TARDIS has been stolen.
Yes, Marco, we're playing for the TARDIS.
The TARDIS?
Grandfather's going to win back the TARDIS.
The help of the TARDIS.
got some more shoes back at the ship, haven't you? But she's gone back to the ship for another pair.
Yes, well, I think we ought to go back to the ship. Anyway, let's go back to the ship.
She's probably back at the ship waiting for us. I said she's probably back at the ship waiting for us.
You know, I think a false barrier has been thrown up around the ship. Time mechanism aboard the ship.
The Tardis, all right.
Yes. Yes, and I think it's time now to go back to the ship.
Get into the Tardis and leave.
The TARDIS.
This says everything has stopped but the ship.
I don't know why we ever bothered to leave the ship.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing, this ship of yours, Doctor.
Grandfather, let's go back to the TARDIS.
Why? I think it would be wise if we return to the ship. Perhaps
yes,
it's coming from inside the TARDIS. Undisturbed the field of dimensions inside the TARDIS. They took away the lock mechanism of my ship. We must get the lock of the TARDIS back. You've taken the lock of my ship.
You stole the lock from our ship.
Now let's work together and see if we can't get the lock of the TARDIS back, hmm?
Well, I suppose it's worth it, Doctor, if we get the lock of the TARDIS back.
Will you return the lock of my ship? I have chemicals and equipment on my ship. Will they let me into my ship? I cannot allow you to go to your ship.
I wish we were up there in the TARDIS and away from here.
But of course I have others on my ship.
Well, I think we must go back to the ship, sir.
This old ship of mine seems to be an aimless thing. Since you are so dissatisfied, my boy, you can get off the ship.
You know, I think we ought to get back to the ship while we still can.
So we stay with the ship.
We won't look so conspicuous when we go back to the ship.
We might not get back to the ship.
Well, now, we must find Chesterton and try and get back to the ship. We're all going back to the ship. And I tried another frequency to sidestep the ship back into the middle of the 20th century.
You mean something went out of the ship?
Perhaps that was the only damage to the ship, Doctor.
And the ship must get hold of the others quickly and return to the TARDIS.
The doors of TARDIS open.
And then we can go back to the ship. Get back to the ship. Can't get back to the ship just yet.
I think we should find the others and get back to the ship.
Well, we must get back to the ship.
We're going to take you back to the ship. You've got to let us take you back to the ship.
The ship, Chester. The ship!
We better make sure we can get back into the ship before we start looking around.
Do you realize we can't get into the ship? And what's all this rubble then? Look at it.
If we could go to the ship and get away from here.
I think we should make our way back to the TARDIS. I think I must check up on the ship.
And you know how the ship...
The ship!
I don't think the TARDIS is likely to run.
Go back to the TARDIS.
Here we are, safely down.
What's that movement, Doctor? Well, surely you can feel it.
Doctor, what's happening?
No,
Take off again, Doctor.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on!
What about the TARDIS?
The TARDIS is quite safe where it is.
We can always go back to the TARDIS.
I'm sure you can't wait to get back to the TARDIS, hmm?
Doctor, can't there just be something wrong with the TARDIS?
Whatever power's got hold of the TARDIS has taken your pen, of course. Ha-ha!
Nothing's wrong back at the ship.
Certainly has nothing to do with holding the ship here, my boy. Hmm?
Go back to the ship! Go back to the ship!
My ship. My TARDIS.
Let's get back to the TARDIS.
The ship's gone. They can't even get in the ship, let alone operate it.
The TARDIS.
The TARDIS.
Being in the ship?
Now that's where they've taken the ship to.
My ship!
She must have left the ship.
What did you do in the ship, child? Trying to destroy my ship. I have great secrets in my ship. I cannot tell you why my ship withstood the fire of that gun. Let us go back into the TARDIS. I want you to nip into the ship. I want you to nip back into the ship. The TARDIS. The same force drew and holds the TARDIS here.
Anyway, the TARDIS is still there.
Are we going back to the ship? Ian, we must get back to the ship.
Now, I suppose the TARDIS will materialize when it's ready.
Look, now that we've found the TARDIS, come on, let's get out of here.
We must have arrived here in the TARDIS sometime. You know, I think the TARDIS jumped a time track in the TARDIS.
But, Doctor, if we find the TARDIS and leave here...
Whether we leave here in the TARDIS or not. Try and find the TARDIS.
The TARDIS! They've got the TARDIS! I think one of us should keep watch on the TARDIS.
The TARDIS. Inside the ship. Thank you.
Doctor, what is that extraordinary thing you've got in the TARDIS?
Ah, that, my boy, yes. For what I take in my ship.
Doctor, he said the TARDIS. And look on their screen, that's us.
What is more important, he referred to the TARDIS as the enemy time machine.
The TARDIS is gone, there's no sign of it.
We must find the TARDIS before they do. We must conserve our strength if we're going to get back to the TARDIS. Whenever we can get back to the TARDIS.
And just outside it, the TARDIS.
The TARDIS! The TARDIS!
Yes, try to get the Dalek away from the TARDIS, I should think.
It's been in the ship ever since I constructed it.
But I'm staying near the TARDIS. Me too.
Quick, into the TARDIS while we still got a chance.
TARDIS. 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 TARDIS.
I shouldn't have moved the TARDIS. The TARDIS can't land in the same time and place twice.
We can't go back for Vicky in the TARDIS.
TARDIS. TARDIS.
Let's get back into the ship. Come along, let's get back to the TARDIS. I didn't invite you into the ship in the first place.